Maura Murray, born May 4, 1982, disappeared February 9, 2004. Last seen at the scene of her car crash along Route 112 in northern New Hampshire. Out of all the missing persons cases, Maura's is especially bizarre. Maura Murray crashed her car on February 9, 2004 along Route 112 in New Hampshire. A bus driver who stopped at the scene says to have spoken with a girl, assumed to be Maura, offering to call the police for her. The girl informed him that she had already called AAA and was waiting on them to arrive. By the time police showed up 10 minutes later, the car was abandoned. AAA had no record of any call being made, and Maura Murray was never seen again. Maura had been acting strangely days before her disappearance. On February 6, 2004, Maura received a phone call while at work at 1 a.m. that caused her to become upset. So upset, she had to be escorted back to her dorm at the University of Massachusetts by a supervisor. The next day, Maura borrowed her father's car and drove it to a party. She left the party at 2:30 a.m. and drove the car into a guardrail on Route 9 in Hadley, New Hampshire, causing $8,000 in damages. She spoke with her father and apologized, promising to share paperwork pertaining to the accident from the Registry of Motor Vehicles with him over the phone that night. 2 days later, February 9th, Maura emailed her boyfriend saying, "I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking to much of anyone. I promised to call today though." A few hours later, she made several calls. One sought information on how to rent a condominium in Bartlett, New Hampshire. Another provided pre-recorded information about Stowe, Vermont, which she listened to for approximately 5 minutes. She then called her boyfriend and spoke to him for 1 minute, while simultaneously map-questing directions to Burlington, Vermont and to the Berkshires. For those interested, the Berkshires is a highland geologic region located in the western parts of Massachusetts and Connecticut. The term Berkshires is normally used by locals in reference to the portion of the mountain range that lies within Massachusetts. Then, around 4 p.m., Maura wrote an email to her friends and professors stating that she would be out of town for several days due to a death in her family. In reality, there had been no death. She then packed up her dorm room, boxing up her belongings and taking the pictures off her walls. A fellow UMass student reported seeing Maura leave the campus around 4:30 p.m., after which Maura emptied her bank account at an ATM. Closed-circuit footage indicates she was alone. She then proceeded to visit a nearby liquor store, purchased $40 worth of alcoholic beverages. Footage also shows she was alone when she made that purchase. Then, Maura got in her vehicle and drove out of Amherst. The next thing that happened was the fateful crash on Route 112 and her subsequent disappearance. No one has seen Maura Murray since, and neither her credit cards nor cell phone have been found or used. Oddities surrounding this case do not conclude here. When a Haverhill police officer arrived at the scene, no one was inside or around the car. The car's windshield was cracked on the driver's side and both airbags had deployed. The car was locked. Inside and outside the car he discovered red stains that looked to be red wine. The officer found a damaged box of Franzia wine on the rear seat. In addition, he found a AAA card issued to Maura Murray, blank crash report forms, gloves, compact discs, makeup, 2 sets of MapQuest driving directions, one to Burlington, Vermont, another to Stowe, Vermont, Maura's favorite stuffed animal, and not without peril, a book about mountain climbing in the White Mountains. Missing were Maura's debit card, credit cards, and cell phone, none of which have been located or used since her disappearance. At 8 o'clock to 8:30 p.m., a contractor returning home from Franconia, a town in Grafton County, New Hampshire, saw a young person moving quickly on foot eastbound on Route 112 about 4 to 5 miles east of where Maura's vehicle was discovered. He noted that the young person was wearing jeans, a dark coat, and a light-colored hood. He didn't report it to police immediately due to his own confusion of dates, only discovering 3 months later, when reviewing his work records, that he'd spotted the young person the same night Maura disappeared. Just before 8 p.m., EMS and a fire truck arrived to clear the scene. By 8:49 p.m., the car had been towed to a local garage. At about 9:30 p.m., the responding officer left. A rag believed to have been part of Maura's emergency roadside kit was discovered stuffed into the Saturn's muffler pipe. Authorities would only refer to Maura as missing the next day, almost 24 hours after she was last seen. The following day, on February 10th, a Be on the Lookout for Maura Murray was issued, and on February the 11th, the search began. A police dog tracked the scent from one of Maura's gloves 100 yards east from where the vehicle was discovered, but lost the scent. Maura's boyfriend and his parents arrived in Haverhill shortly after. He was interrogated in private, and then was joined by his parents for questioning. Police said that they believed Maura came to the area to either run away or commit suicide, although her family believed that this was unlikely. That evening, Maura's boyfriend allegedly received a voicemail message, since deleted, that he believes was the sound of Maura sobbing. The call was traced to a card issued to the American Red Cross. Little progress had been made for several years, although the search continued on. Then in October 2006, volunteers led a 2-day search within a few miles of where Maura's vehicle was found. In the closet of an A-frame house, cadaver dogs allegedly went bonkers, identifying the possible presence of human remains. A sample of the carpet was sent to the New Hampshire State Police, however, findings have yet to be released and made public. Maura Murray, at the time of writing this, has been missing for 12 years, 5 months, and 28 days. Although this case is now over a decade old, strange information continues to surface. Most recently, a YouTube user by the name of Mr. 112 Dirtbag began posting videos in mid-2012 pertaining to Maura's disappearance. The man appears to be mentally disturbed, and it is thought that he might know information about Maura's whereabouts. On the 8th anniversary of Maura's disappearance, the man posted a YouTube video of him laughing with the words, "Happy Anniversary" flashing at the end. Here's the video in its entirety. Be warned, some may find this to be disturbing. This individual was questioned by law enforcement, but could not be linked to Maura Murray's disappearance. Maura's case was one of many cited by proponents of a cold case unit for New Hampshire. Her case was added to the newly established cold case unit in late 2009. Senior Assistant Attorney General, Jeffrey Strelzin stated in February 2009 that the investigation is still active. We don't know if Maura is a victim, but the state is treating it as a potential homicide. It may be a missing persons case, but it's being handled as a criminal investigation.